Hi, so in this tutorial we're going to look at creating modules. So you're right at the beginning, you've got your course set up and you now need to start to organize your content. Now modules are a great way to organize content from all across Canvas. So you could have pages, you could have assignments, you can have external links, a whole load of content, even Google Drive stuff. And modules are just ways of bringing them all together and structuring them in a way that's easy to navigate and find for students. So let's pop across to our Canvas install. So here's my dashboard and I've just set up a test account so we can add a few things. So I'm just going to go into my course here, click on my course, and then I just need to browse across to my modules. Now you might find modules in a slightly different position on your course. Some things might be enabled and disabled in different courses. So I'm just going to click on modules. And just to create a new course is as simple as going to the top right of the page where it says module and there's a little plus sign. And then you can just create a new module. So I'm just going to click on this and click module. So I'm going to call this 6, module 6. So I've got a new module and that's what I'm going to call it. Sometimes it's helpful to give them numbers. You might find that you've got a unit like unit 2 and you might want to break that into parts. You might want to call it 2.1, 2.2. It doesn't really matter and you can always come back and change those. So you just click add module. Now we'll automatically go to the bottom. So this will be right down the bottom of all my modules. And that can be a frustration, but it's easy enough to just click on the 3 little dots and then say where you want to move the module to. So you can click move module and say, you know what, I want it at the top, or I want it before or after something, or I want it at the bottom. So I might say I want it before my other module here. So I'm going to say I want it before this academic monitoring module. So click that, move it, and it will move it up to the top of the page. So now we can see, here we go, it's moved up between academic monitoring modules and module 2. So it's all there. So other things you can do with that, of course, you can duplicate it. So if you've got a whole module that you want to you've got a nice structure, then you can duplicate it. And of course you can delete it and you can edit it as well. So if there was a name that you wanted to change, then that's possible. There are things about prerequisites and requirements that we can look at, but we're not going to look at those right now. So this is just setting it up. So there's your module. It's currently completely unpublished. And then you'll see in this module, there's a little plus. And in here, you can start to populate this with content that you've already got. So I'm going to click plus on there. And then I can see all the different types of content. So assignments, quiz, files, pages, discussion. A text header is quite useful. So you might find that actually you want to break your subject into different parts. So I'm going to say my header here is going to be section 1, human behavior, whatever it's going to be. And I can even indent it a little bit. So go 1 level, and then we'll just add that item. And then we got, again, there's a section. And then I could do another section again, and I'm going to call that section 2. Oops. Modeling, so whatever it's going to be. And so now we've got our 2 sections in there. Then I can add some content. So I can say I'm going to add an assignment. So now it shows me all the assignments I already have. And these are categorized by their assignment types. But I can take any of those and say, right, I'm going to put in that. And you can choose multiple. Just hold on your computer. If you're on a Mac, hold Command. And if you're on a PC, hold Control. And you can say, right, I want all of those things. And indenting is quite helpful for just kind of navigating with your eye through the content. So indent 2 levels. And I've now got all of that there. And if I think, you know what, I wanted that in this section here, I can just drag down the other module heading. And you can see these things are already switched on because they're available somewhere else in the course. So you can turn them on and off. So I can turn on that whole module, and then everything inside that is all active. You can, of course, create absolutely new content straight from here as well. So in assignment, I could then do a new assignment, give it a name, and it would just drop in just the shell. So I'm going to say this is 1.1.3, new assignment, just so we know which one it was. I'm going to put that in there. We'll just move that up there. We'll even move those around a little bit. So at the minute, this is just a blank assignment, and I can now click on that to go through and to edit it. So that's kind of setting up modules with assignments, and then of course you can do all the other kind of stuff you would normally add. So you can go in and you can add pages that you might already have. So there's pages that you already have in your so I'm going to say, right, here's our pages I want to add, and they'll all add to my module, and I think that's section 2. I'm going to move that to the bottom so it's underneath everything. So I'm going to say that's at the bottom. And keep it in that module 6. And that's just moved it down there. So that's that, and you can already see that module's getting pretty big. So you probably wouldn't want to add too much more to it, but there's pages here that come through, so assignments, and then any other content as well. You can just put in an external URL. So if you found a website, paste in the link. You can even then have it where possible. It will render inside the page. Some websites don't allow themselves to be embedded in others, so sometimes it's useful to have this loaded in a new chat tab. So if I was just to kind of click that, we'll go and have a look at that Arbor page. So click on it. So when we click on it, it does its best to keep it within Arbor, but you'll see here sometimes it says refuse to connect. So you can just click on the top here where there's a little link to external site and it would open it up. If that happens, then that's where you can just go in and say, right, I'm going to edit this content and just change it to load in new tab. And that's pretty much it for sorting out your modules. It's just a really neat way of organizing your content, and then obviously things can be collapsed up and down, and then some of these are all switched off. But if we were to come into student view, I can then go right, click on student view over here. This shows up in lots of pages, and just see what that looks like for the students. So I can go back into modules, and they just see the modules that have been switched on. So it's not everything. So this stuff I put here, some things you can see saying it's overdue because I've imported content from a few years ago, and all of that works. So I click on here, that opens up, and now it opens in a new tab for them. And you see that there. So there we go. That's kind of organizing modules, and a way for you just to put in your current content and add any new content onto your Canvas install for your class.